In so many ways, man, Howard saved me. I love it.
That's right.
I'll talk about Howard amongst family, but outside of that, I will
It
not.
just make you strong.
Yes.
There you go.
Howard made us strong.
There you go.
And made me patient, for sure.
Through our experiences, through our choice to be understanding and to learn together, we built and decided that we would be family. Mm-hmm. And we're choosing to have lifelong friendship as a result of that choice.
Applied for Howard, man, but like I said, prior to it, I was stuck, man. Lost myself for a bit. Lost my identity, if you will. Howard, man, it made me gain all that back. My strength, identity, courage, that pride again.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Symbiosis. Over the past couple of episodes, we've been asking some pretty foundational questions. Episode 1, who are we? Episode 2, what is symbiosis? And tonight, I'd like to ask a different question. Where did it come from? People often ask where ideas come from. Sometimes they begin with a conversation. Sometimes they begin with a person. For us, symbiosis began somewhere people probably wouldn't expect. It began inside a Zoom classroom during our final semester at Howard. Stephen and I found ourselves in Professor Diane Griggs Ross's group therapy course. At the time, I thought we were simply learning another subject. Looking back, I realized we were experiencing something much bigger. Tonight isn't about looking backward. It's about understanding the roots of everything we've been trying to build. Professor Griggs Ross, thank you for joining us. We're honored to have you here and so happy to see you. How are things? Would you be open to giving an update on where your life is right now and things like that?
Sure. So, first of all, I have to say thank you for allowing me. And Denzel, I don't know if you know this part of the story. So, when I get ready to teach this course, I search who's in my course. I say, who's in my course? And I'm always looking for my males because I do a demo group and I need diversity. So I have to say thank you to you, Anthony, and thank you to you, Stephen, because I voluntold you to join this group, and you said, and you didn't know what the heck it was,
And did. That's right.
and you did it. It just made the group much more powerful because of your presence. And we just need males in the field, and we need your voices. And I appreciate you having me here. So again, thank you so much. And for me, to be honest with you, those demo groups are probably the most powerful things that I do all year, because people might think, well, what really happens in these groups? And are you just doing topics? Is it just things? Are you just picking a topic and talking about it? No, we are really sharing our lives. We're talking about how our life story impacts who we are in the moment, how we relate to one another, our career choices, and all of those. And it is my honor and my privilege to facilitate those conversations and to listen to those conversations, because it's more than just me instructing a class, but it's watching healing happen it's me witnessing healing on a certain level, even though it's not a traditional like psychotherapy group, but healing happens there. So I want to say thank you for allowing me to do that and for being very nice to me and respecting the being voluntold. So Anthony, your question was, what am I doing now?
Just what's going on with you since the last time we talked?
Gosh, you know what? Remind me, when were you all in class? Time just goes crazy. Was it a year? No way.
We graduated in May of 2025.
Are you
and
kidding me?
you were our last semester.
Wow. Okay, so time goes by so fast. So I'm still, thank you, Jesus, have my 2 classes at Howard. I'm race, class, and gender, and then my group therapy course. I do teach another course at UCLA, human behavior and diagnosing, and I go to campus for that, which is a lot of fun. And then I teach another course, patient care, at an acupuncture school, which I really enjoy. It's some of the themes are pretty similar that I teach in my race, class, and gender course, but I love it. And what's so fascinating is that we are getting more Black folks interested in acupuncture and understanding that we want to work holistically and not just through a medical lens. So those are the kind of my main joys. I do some supervision, still do some supervision, a lot of supervision. That's my other joy at different places in South LA. And I'm trying to figure out how to cut back because I know this is going out into the real world, but I just turned 69. I can't believe it. I'm like, where did the time go?
And every time you tell your age, I'm
I
like,
know.
where? 69
Yeah,
where?
Anthony, let me tell you something. And let me tell you this other thing. I was traumatized because I'm an AKA. In our sorority, we celebrate, I call them gemstone years. So we're celebrating my 50th. And we've kind of been doing that for a little bit. And I'm not the kind of person that likes to be out in front. I like to be behind the scenes. So for me to wear a little tiara and a sash, I'm like, no. So I'm fighting all the way. I'm oppositional. So I finally give in. But we had a little celebration at my chapter, and my line sisters came. And we've been together for 50 years, and I just can't
Mm.
believe it. This little chance of meeting at UCLA, and I know it was all God. God did it. I know that for sure. And just been in each other's lives, and I really value them. And a little sidebar, we are going to celebrate our 50th. We're going to do a little podcast, so I'm excited about that. So summer for me is Dodger games, Hollywood Bowl. Haven't done enough of that yet, but I am trying to figure out how to cut back a little bit on stuff that I really don't want to do anymore. But of course, my Howard I'll be at Howard until they tell me it's time to go. Tai
And
Chi, I
those
do
of
more Tai
us
Chi Pilates, and that's it.
those of us who are beneficiaries of you being at Howard are forever grateful that you are.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
so
you. And did I tell you my Howard story? Did I tell you that one already?
I don't
So
think
I
so.
So when I after I graduated from UCLA, I wanted to go to Howard, and because I wanted that experience, the HBCU experience, and I got accepted, but I couldn't afford it.
Mm.
So I went to the University of Maryland, and they were looking for Black students, so they paid my whole tuition. So the way I got my HBCU on is I dated a guy from Morgan State, so that's how I got that. Then we're still friends today, and here I am at Howard, back full circle. So that's my Howard story.
Thank you for sharing all of that information. We really appreciate it. Now, let's do what we do, fellas. Just wanna feel my friends and family. Today's Brotherhood check-in is simple. I want you to tell us about a teacher, a mentor, or a guide whose influence has stayed with you long after the session ended. Not necessarily someone who changed your life overnight, just someone whose fingerprints you still recognize today. What up, Steven? How you been, man?
Cooling, man.
Let's start with you.
Well, that person happens to be here as a
You
guest
can't
today.
cheat. You can't cheat.
I'm sorry. Sorry. It's the truth. Professor, I'm forever grateful for your group therapy class. I didn't want to do the demo group, but like you said, I was voluntold, and also shout out to Alexis. She was in the demo group and she told me that I should be in there, and I was going to be in there. So I wound up being in there. So I had a couple of ladies telling me what I was going to do. So obviously I did it. There's no words to describe or explain the demo group for me. My experience was very heartfelt. I was able to come to the demo group and say things that I haven't said before. And it's kind of weird because I've had a therapist before, but I didn't feel the sense of comfort that I had in the demo group. And it's weird because you're in class with your peers and you don't want everybody in your business. But when everybody, who was not in the demo group cut their cameras off, it was like you was just there with a couple of friends just talking, and you forgot about everybody else in the class until you would end the group session for that day. And you was like, okay, everybody cut your cameras back on. You'd be like, wait a minute, I've been telling my business to all these people in here. But it was so special because I was able to unload a lot of stuff that had been on me for a long time. And from taking your class, I think it made me a better person. Like, for some reason, I've been telling the guys since we've been doing this podcast, like my confidence risen, my self-esteem had went up just because I was able to come to your class. Like, your class is so important to me, and I've been missing it since we graduated. The bond that I made with Anthony, the bond that I made with other people in the program, a lot of it is because of your class. And I just want to take this time out to say thank you for that, because you changed me, the class changed me, and I know we did a lot of the work in the class because you set that environment to where we could be comfortable and share anything. I just want to say thank you for being able to facilitate that, and I'm greatly appreciative.
Is it okay if I respond?
Absolutely.
Well, that is so touching. And when you all sent me the email about the podcast and can I come and how much you appreciated me, I didn't understand what that meant. I understand what it means now. So for me, it's so important to just show up and do my best. And my passion is to make sure that people that look like us that are on this call get into the field, because you know what happens to us. So we don't even have to go there. And just your stories are so powerful and so meaningful. And your stories help you be who you are in these moments. And you don't even know it's in there. And it's kind of, I guess, my work to help pull it out. But so when I did the demo group, I wanted to make this class meaningful. Like, how do I make this meaningful that you leave with an experience that you can actually run a group and you can understand the flow? And I wanted to make it meaningful, not just where you read something and you get your A and you're out.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how meaningful it was until I'm hearing you share this and until I kind of received the email, because I want my life to be meaningful, and that I've done something because of my presence on this earth, that I've done something to support others that just betters who we are as human beings, and Black human beings in particular. So Stephen, and in those moments, and I'm having fun when I'm doing it too, right? And I'm like, but I thank you. All I can say is just thank you, and I appreciate you, and I'm so glad that who would have ever thought that demo group, and you said yes to, and look at y'all, here you are making big changes, impacting folks, and thank you so much for that.
Well, folks, thank you for coming. This is the end of the show. Thank you so much. That's everything. We're done. That was everything that I had. I mean, like, literally between the two of you, you've really covered so much of the topics, but we're going to keep on going. We're going to forge ahead. Denzel, what's going on with you, bro? Hope all is well. I hope everything's been good. Tell me about your someone who helped cultivate you.
I have a few. I'll keep it short though. But first off, let me back up. Professor, I regret that I didn't get the opportunity to be taught by you. I've heard so much about you from these two gentlemen, and I so regret I did not have the same opportunity. They have gone on and on and on about your influence, and about that lasting impression you left with them. So I so regret I didn't have the same opportunity. But three professors come to mind with me. Professor Marilyn Greenville Davis, Professor Carmen Wallace, and Professor Northcross. Those three, their impact on me, their just genuine care. I mean, it was just a beautiful thing. This was an online course, and I had no idea that the professors would be so involved. that they would have so much care for us. I can remember many times being on the phone with Professor Wallace at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night because I'm up and I don't understand something. And it became so regularly that my wife would come into my man cave to check in on me, and she hear him on the phone, and she said, "That must be Professor Wallace," and he's in the background. "Hey, Angel, how you doing?" But that's the connection we had. Every time I've stepped foot on Howard, albeit for homecoming, what have you, he's made sure to make his way to meet me and show me a good time. Uh, but they made it really feel like home. And to say that this was an online program versus my other two programs that I was in for my bachelor's and my other master's, that was on site. I didn't have the same. It just wasn't the same, and that was on site. So that's insane to me. It was pretty much, and I don't want to. I'm not back talking my alma mater, my other school that I attended, graduated from. But it just wasn't the same, right? That genuine care, just how much they poured into us. I am so grateful for all my professors. But those three really stand out for me.
I
Please,
got to
please.
jump in. So, Denzel, what I want to say is be thankful for now. So now I get to meet you, and
Yes,
I too wish I had been able to experience you a little bit differently. But
yes,
I think this is a profound moment. So I'm gonna say I'm thankful for now.
I'm thankful too. Me as well, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to deviate from the teachers of Howard and talk about the first person that comes to mind for me. His name is Kenneth Ward. Kenny Ward completely changed the way I thought about creating. He was a musical pioneer in my hometown. So when I think about music, or when I think about just about any aspect of my childhood, I think about him. And Kenny challenged us to be courageous, to be innovative, and to be relevant, and to build something that would outlive us. But the greatest lesson that I think I learned from him wasn't excellence, it was motivation. Don't do it for the applause. Don't do it for the recognition. Build something that leaves a blueprint. Build something that makes it easier for the people coming behind you. And looking back, I realized that lesson has followed me into just about everything that I do, whether it's social work, whether it's training, this podcast, or simply just trying to love people well. I think I'm still trying to leave a blueprint because of the blueprint that he left. It's kind of interesting because I think that actually leads us perfectly into tonight's conversation. Professor, I'd love to begin here. When you designed your group therapy course, what experience would you say you were hoping your students would actually have beyond simply learning the material? I know you've probably kind of touched on that already to a degree, but specifically.
Well, a couple things. I think the demo group was extremely important for me. And I think in our class, my class is completely different from other group therapy classes because they don't do the demo group, and it's not this experience of what it means to have the experience of doing something. So what I was trying to do, and I'm not quite sure how well I did it with you all, is I wanted the folks that were in the demo group to have a full experience of moving through the stages of group, and to be able to identify that and to understand what it meant like to be in a group of folks who may or may not know each other and coalesce and help each other share their stories, honor their stories. And I was hoping for a little bit of conflict. I don't know if any of that came through because it's just nice to know you kind of get through those struggles. And I think I used the metaphor, I'm not sure, but I use the metaphor of gumbo, that when you have a group, you want to have a lot of flavors, you want to have a lot of stuff happening, you want to have some surprises because it's dynamic, right? So students to have a dynamic experience. And even in the gallery, where Denzel, I would say the folks that weren't involved in the demo group who were and watching, we would call them the gallery, they had these like vicarious experiences of healing. It was really amazing. And I wasn't expecting any of that at all. And so I wanted to initially have you have an experiential experience with the work, because I believe we're experiential learners. And through that experience, then you feel equipped enough to go and do the same thing in your own way, because I don't want folks to be like me or do what I do, but find your own way of how you need to create yourself to do the work. And then my intent was, and I don't always do it well, depending on what happens, like if we miss class because of holidays, is I want that small group experience to have their own journey too. And so to understand, again, have the experience of what it means to be in a more intimate group and move through the stages, or they won't necessarily move through the stages of the group, but they'll have their own experiential experience. But what my surprise was, hearing what Stephen has just said, and Anthony, what you said, how powerful that experience was on Zoom. And those who witnessed your stories and how you move through was also healing for them. I never expected that. And I never even thought of it. The other thing that was helpful that I didn't do that was already there were the critical reflections. And I love the critical reflections because they asked you to tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think through telling your story, you were able to cultivate about how you got to where you are now. Now, I did change the last 3 assignments a little bit. They got to be more conceptual, and I made them a little bit more, I want to know your experience with ethics, your experience with leadership, your experience. So I did change that a little bit because, again, we're starting off the course telling your story, and then we kind of shift to something different. It just didn't make sense to me. So I changed that a little bit. But I am in awe of the power of it. And the other thing is my friend Manny, who comes and guest lectures during the co-therapy.
I've got to get his information. I was supposed to.
I need that.
He comes. So Denzel, I have a friend that comes. Actually, he was my supervisee, and now he's my colleague. He's the bomb. He comes once every time I teach the course. He'll come during co-therapy week. So he and I demonstrate what it means to have a co-therapy relationship and run a group. So the dude steps in, not knowing anybody, not knowing any stories. I might say where we are in the therapy. In the group. I might say that there was something that may have happened. He comes in cold. I don't know. He's magical. So he has not disappointed yet. And he just came this last week. But I want you all to have that real life experience, because this is what healing work is. I don't get to go into some of my stuff about where we learn Eurocentric psychology. We're not Eurocentric people. That's a whole nother, that's my race, class, and gender course. But I wanted us to just experience the power of group, because people are afraid. People are afraid to run a group, but you don't have to, because eventually, if you kind of get it right, the group will start to run itself. And anyway, I hope I answered your question.
Manny was cool. Manny actually showed up a week that I couldn't be in class. I had something going on. I don't know if it was work or family, but he came back just so I could tell the story. 2. Because Professor wanted to respect my story, and she said, I think that Steve should be able to tell that. And then he came back that week, and we had another phenomenal class. So I remember Manny. I like Manny.
Yeah, you're right, Stephen. Thank you so much for reminding me about that, because it's the classes go by so fast. I can't remember everybody's story, but you're absolutely right. And I have to ask for forgiveness, because you did talk a lot in that.
I did.
You did. You surely did. He did.
But that was where he opened up. Yeah. We both kind of opened up, because I started off being a bit introverted myself. But yeah.
And it
You
was
pulled it right
Manny
on out
that
of
helped
us.
you do that, right?
Yeah.
Was it
He
his?
kind of, well, I think it was the week before was
Mhm.
when we actually had that pivotal conversation, and then he missed and Manny showed up, and
Yeah.
then we had another one. So it was
Yeah.
just like all of these classes back to back where
Yeah.
the males were able to have so much to say. It was really, really
Mhm.
okay. Denzel, we know you weren't in the class. I feel like we having a lot of conversation that you aren't privy to, but
Right.
I want to know, like, what was your experience with group therapy, and what you gleaned from your group therapy class, and what you're kind of like picking up from what we talk about since we had the demo group.
I'll just put this out here, and you're gonna have to take this part out because my group therapy class, I went through text messages with my former group that we had a group text with Kira, Nicole, myself, and
Yeah,
Marlena, and we're all in the group text talking about, okay, all right, guys, we're all dropping group therapy, and this is what we're gonna do.
gotcha.
That's all I remember. Group therapy must not have been one of those required courses.
Okay.
I'll say
Right?
No,
this.
it was an elective. It was an
That's
elective.
why. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, something about it didn't fit with our, because look, we started the program together and we wanted to make sure we took as many classes together as we could. So I think Nicole was left out. So I can't remember who we had gotten into, but we all decided to just drop it so that we can all be together. So I
Gotcha.
didn't experience group therapy at all.
I
Gotcha.
think a lot of us did that. Denzel tried to move through the
Uh-huh.
program with a set group of people
Right.
because we have developed our own little community.
Right.
So when we were, because we would have trouble getting registered and everything. Everybody's
Yeah.
kind of shuffling around trying to figure things out,
Right.
and like all the classes would be taken because you hear the little stories. Hey, you take this person, you're supposed to take this person, and then here we look at this paper. Who is Professor Diane Griggs Ross? Who is that? Nobody knew. Nobody could really tell us. So it was me and Alexis. I'll never forget it. Well, we just gonna have to figure it out. So I say that's divine intervention.
Man.
Because
now was this early on in the program or what?
This was the very last semester.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
it was later in the program for us.
Gotcha.
It was later. But I'm so happy that I took her class. I don't think that I would have made the strides that I have made since graduation if I had not been in that class, if I had not been there with Anthony. I think that in life, I think that life is kind of like a map and everybody's going different directions, but ever so often you kind of intersect. And when you intersect at the right time, something special can happen. So I think that's my explanation.
Let me tell you how divine happened before that. So I don't know what got in my head. I just wanted to teach at Howard. I just had to keep, so I kept trying and trying and trying. I met, I think, did I meet? I met Dean Crew at one of the NABSW conferences. I made sure she knew my name. I was just talking to everybody. And then I guest lectured for one of the professors, the adjuncts there, a couple years before I was able to get on. And I said, and I kept bugging everybody. And then I finally decided I'm gonna give up because these people they don't need Diane Griggs. Diane Howard changed my name. They added my husband's name on there, but it's okay. So, which I use, but professionally, it's everything. All my documents are Griggs. But so I was going to give up, and I said, and then 2 weeks before the semester started, I get an email. Do you want to teach? Yes, but I'm scared to death. It is not anything that I know that I can do, and it'll come relatively organic for me. It was group therapy. I am the group therapy queen. At one time, I was running 10 groups a week. I was working at 2 different places, and the longest group that I ever ran was a group that lasted for about 40 years. It was with parents whose children had engaged in a lot of sexual behaviors that got them into some trouble. So that was God right there. And then I didn't know anything about Canva and none of that stuff. So I had to figure all that stuff out. And then I just said, I'm going to do the class just like it's a workshop. And so when you go to workshops for group therapy, and usually the workshops, they're like 2 and 3 days at a time. So there is a demo group, and the demo group occurs over that course, that 3-week or that 3-day course. So you get to see the demo group more than one time, and then you have your own breakout group. So I patterned it after the workshops and the conferences that I had gone to, because again, it's feeling the work that we do. It's heart work, right? So you can't rely on a paper to help someone to reveal their heart. Now, again, our critical reflections did challenge us to get into the heart, which I thought was very meaningful. And I wanted people to know that I was reading your papers. And so I would try as best I could to put a comment and to say something, kind of a little story or something, share a little bit about myself as well. But in those stories too, I felt so honored and so privileged because you all shared so deeply and you didn't really know who I was. And you trusted me with your story. And that to me is so profound. It's when we do therapy and your clients come and share. I mean, it's a gift. I mean, it may not always feel like a gift, but it is a gift. So it just kind of happened. It was all the divine intervention. That's all I can say. That was my first course was group therapy.
That's amazing.
You know, it's all starting to come back to me. I just put up my folder that I have here, and I have all my courses in their separate folders. So yes, what we did was we picked up therapy with children and families instead of group therapy. So I'm sorry, therapy with children and adolescents. This is what we did because the four of us, we all said, you know what? None of us are interested in doing group therapy.
And that's what a lot of people were doing. We'd be like, I don't really want to do group, but that's not what this.
And you know, that was our mistake. And now that I'm hearing it, because still to this day, even in practice now, look, I'm not doing group therapy, individual and family therapy, but not group therapy.
But before your class, Professor, I thought that education, the program had me thinking. They deal with it from the Black perspective, but they're dealing mostly with learning concepts. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But every course before that, I keep asking myself, do I get it? Am I understanding it? So I completely understand that, Denzel. I'm not looking to learn another theory about group therapy. I'm not really. But then when we got to group therapy, something changed. It changed. Yeah. I stopped looking at the concepts and the PowerPoints and started watching them come alive inside people and inside those critical. That was part of it. It was all intertwined. So we weren't studying the group process. We were literally living it and watching ourselves grow and watching one another grow, and challenging one another. And looking back, I realized that it's only felt effortless because someone with incredible wisdom was quietly facilitating the whole experience.
Yeah.
And that's what changed for me. Great teaching doesn't simply provide answers. Great teaching creates the conditions for people to discover together.
Yeah.
I love that.
I wasn't,
and I don't know if you realize how much you did that in that class for us, but you were that example for us and for me. So
well, thank you.
I wanted to jump through the screen at Stephen because that's what I wanted to say, but he got to get it off first. But seriously, I feel the same sentiment that he does. Yeah. It changed in your course.
Thank you. And you know what? I think for me, teaching isn't something you do. I think because you all are experts. You all are already experts. All we needed to do is let that paper catch up with you, really. Because you have such a powerful life experience. You get all this stuff and we hear it all the time. We live it every day. So then then they offered me this race, class, and gender course. I got scared because I didn't have a lot of experience with it. And then it's also very conceptual. But I'm a creative person and I teach or I lecture creatively. I love dialogue. I love interaction. I love conversation. So what I did was I decided that I was going to have at least 5 guest speakers come, and they will own that class. Like Manny owns the co-therapy class. That's his class. So I have guest speakers, and now all of them are social workers, come and they share their passion around the topic, and that's their class. And then there's so much dialogue. It's so much dialogue. I don't know if you know, there's a student named Pamela Smith. She's so funny. She goes, every time we get ready to talk, you pull us back out the small group. I said, Pamela, I'm sorry. You just too invested in your learning, and we can't have that. I'm obviously joking with her. But that's what that's what, for me, I get so excited about the dialogue and the learning. And if you just show up and you talk, you good. I mean, because we're digging through it together, and I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. I have my thoughts and my own kind of generational understanding about life and how life works. But the dialogues are just absolutely amazing. And so I've also switched that curriculum up a little bit, because the way Howard has it structured is that all of the big main papers are at the very end. People trying to graduate, they're done. So there's a paper that wants you to interview somebody from your community and kind of a sage or an elder and write it up. So I just say, well, we're going to invite a sage or elder to come to class. And then that way you don't have to go on a search. And then you could write it up any way you want. You could do a PowerPoint. You could do a da 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 da. So we've had some dynamic guest speakers. A friend of mine came. She's a Black Panther. She came. And I had a woman who's a poet and and she came. So, and then I encouraged the students to find their own persons that they want to hear from. And if they can't, then I'll find somebody. And then we do all the photo voices. We do it in class so we can celebrate and cheer each other on. So I changed it a lot so that it takes the load off of just trying to do another paper. And I don't necessarily care about grammar, because you can learn that other places, because we all have gaps in our learning for whatever reason. It's interesting. I hear students talk about professors that if you don't turn it at 11:59, they ding you or they do. I'm like, that's crazy. I don't understand it. That's not part of because we need you all. We need you. You can
Your
go,
class gonna be full. You gonna have so many people trying to get your class.
and they know if you took one class of mine, you know how great. So we don't even need to talk about that. But
Yeah.
And so did I hear right that you taught race, class, and gender as well?
I do teach it now.
Now. Okay.
I
No, she taught it.
last time.
Yeah,
I
she
taught
taught it
you
last
guys.
year.
Really? Okay.
I didn't get a chance to do it, but I heard about that class. I think it was Melissa Beasley. She was just like, "Ooh, if you can get it with Professor Diane."
I did
Griggs
it with
Ross.
Dr. Jeter, but the material in that class was phenomenal too, though.
Yeah.
I appreciated that course.
So I have a really and actually there's a gentleman that if you're interested, I'm sure he would come and do your podcast. This dude is off the chain. He comes and talks about criminality and Black individuals, but he has this whole PowerPoint that he just talks from the minute we got off the slave ship and how we have criminalized Black individuals. And he's written a couple of books, and he does a lot of work here. His name is Ron Valentine. He'll come all the time. And so I'm just so blessed that I have folks that are willing to kind of just come and do their thing. And and people get to know, number one, this is something else you can do in the field. This is another way to look at it. And then even for my human behavior and my diagnosing class at UCLA, same thing. I have people that specialize in when teens, Manny comes there too, teens or little ones, and they just, because they're so passionate about it, they can speak to it in a different way than just a lecture. So they come, they share their stories, they do a case vignette. And afterwards, we'll go through the DSM and kind of say, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Does racism come in here? So it's again, an interactive class. It's not just, I'm going to give you a vignette, you figure out what the diagnosis is, and you write the paper and we're done. No, that's not how I teach. That's not how I do it. It has to be interactive. It has to be fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
It has to be fun.
It is kind of difficult going in this conversation with you all because it is, once again, just so naturally organic and we could just talk about stuff. How does it feel knowing something that happened inside your Zoom classroom continues to live through the work your students are doing today, such as knowing that this podcast is something that was literally birthed from your classroom, and we yearned for this fellowship, for this type of conversation, so that's why we started this whole podcast, and it's birthed from you. What comes to your mind?
Well, it's very meaningful for me. And I think just looking at my life and who I am and where I came from, and my whole family's we're service. That's our thing. We come from service and we do service and we're in our community. And I think whether I'm teaching or whether I'm a therapist or I'm supervising or I'm doing something, I just want what I do to matter and to make a difference. And so that every person that I am around, I want whatever I can give to be meaningful for them and that they can take it and then change the world. So when I had when I had you all in class, I had I had no idea of the depth of what was happening. I mean, for me, I was having fun because I could see the stages and where we were going. And I can't remember if it was your class, but somebody said, no, I don't think it was your class, but somebody said something like, "Oh, we're not going to get there." I go, "You don't know. You don't know. First of all, you don't know your students, your colleagues, and you don't know me." So, but so it's a lot of fun to be able to do that and to get y'all to a place where you feel like that I got something out of the class. I don't want you to just come and just fight for the A or do papers just because and don't remember it. So meaning is really important to me, that there's meaning in it and that you all are here today because of that class. I still don't know how that happened. I'm glad that it happened. I feel blessed. And again, just like I said, reading the papers and being able to run the class, I'm so blessed to be with you and share the spaces. And I think the power of Zoom. I mean, I didn't realize the power of Zoom. I didn't realize that you all can formulate because I'm a in-person person. I like relationships but I didn't realize you could do this relationship thing on Zoom. You can, and I love it. It's just meaningful. That's the only thing I can think of. And so here's the thing. I think if I could do this with through two of you, three of you, because you're here, just think what you all can do and then what those people are going to do and what those people are going to do. That is so powerful, but I didn't get it. I was just trying to make sure that you all got something out of the class that was meaningful for you. And here we are. I'm blessed.
What comes to mind when you hear that, Denzel? What made you say, wow?
It's just beautiful, man. It just brings me back to what is Howard and what Howard represents. It's people like Professor here. Man, we are just so blessed to have gone through the program, the School of Social Work program at the Howard University. It's professors like this one here, and so many others. Their passion and their lasting impact is just a beautiful thing. Not everyone can say that they got this experience that we did, and so I'm just blessed, really am.
Same.
I'm going to encourage you all to please get to at least one NABSW conference, because if you think you got something at Howard, you need to get to this conference because these folks are, I mean, we're already proud that we Black. You're going to be really, really proud you Black. When you see they have some keynote speakers that are off the chain. There was, and I don't even want to share this because I'm forgetting his name, but he was part of the Central Park 5, I believe.
Okay.
And he's Muslim. Do you know his name? Do you know who that is?
I
Who
don't
I'm
know his
speaking
name,
of?
but I can see his
Can't
face.
remember. I can see his face. Yeah.
He came, he gave a speech. I mean, not a speech. He came and he did his thing, keynote. Those are the kind of people we get. And then you see Howard shows up, and just seeing us in an environment just like Howard, where you don't have to apologize for being Black, you don't have to code switch, you don't have to do it. And people are brilliant. We are brilliant people. And it's just, that's my, I go every year, and that's my kind of my shot in the arm, because you know what we're dealing with on the outside, right? So
Sure.
that's, you go there and you go, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna be fine. So I
So that
really
was.
go.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was Yusuf that
Yes,
you were referencing.
yes,
Yeah, that was
yes,
Yusuf.
yes.
But what you just said, it echoed the same thing my clinical supervisor said. She said, I need to ensure that I go to that conference. And she said the same exact thing you did. What she takes from it each and every year, how proud she is to be there amongst people that look like us. So
Yeah,
I look forward to participating.
please do.
I was definitely looking at it this past year, but I was in the process of transitioning positions, and I didn't get to do any conferences, and then my boss made me go to another conference this in
Yeah,
October. So, but I'm definitely looking into next year.
yeah. We don't know where it's gonna be yet, but Detroit was off the chain, because that's where we have, I believe, four living founders left, and one of them is Garland Jaggers, who's in Detroit, and Dr. Shirley Betters is here. Better is in Los Angeles, and she's not doing well, but she's founded the national chapter as well as our chapter. I did a little documentary. I'm gonna put it out there, because you just never know how God works, right? So I did a little documentary talking about the NABSW, and I want to put it in. I have to one more interview of a gentleman who was. So do you know the story about NABSW? Do you know how they came to be? Okay, I got to, if you don't, so let me tell you how Black people are the bomb. So, right after Martin Luther King was assassinated and murdered, NASW decided they were going to do like a little tribute, and they did it in the alley somewhere. I forget where they just did not do that right. But Black folks had already been upset about how policies were impacting Black people, like Black folks couldn't adopt their own children. There were all kind of policies that kept us oppressed and all the stuff. So Black people were just tired. So after that happened, social workers from across the country decided that they were going to create a 10-point position paper and present it at the NASW. And so these social workers came together in 1968. They went to, and that conference was in San Francisco at that time. They went to San Francisco. They were plotting. We know how to plot, right? So they put people. They barred the doors so nobody could get out. This was 1968. So they stood at the doors. A couple folks went to, I guess they went to the podium, or whoever was leading the meeting, and they made their demands, and their demands were not met. They got up. 400 Black social workers walked out of that meeting. Now, mind you, 400 Black social workers who came with their white bosses walked out. They walked across the street to Glide, I believe it was Glide Memorial Church, and that was their first meeting, and they have been in existence for 68 years, I believe. We had no federal money, so we can do whatever we want to do. And so I believe there's not right now just two living founders. And then one of the founders was a dean at Howard, Dr. Glasgow. He also was a dean at UCLA. So I decided I wanted to do a documentary and tell the story, because if you go to African American Museum in DC, there's nothing about Black social workers. There's nothing about Black psychologists. There's the D9. There's Oprah got her own room, but there's nothing like us. So one of my dreams is to get the documentary into either the Library Congress or in that museum, but I still have a lot of work to do. They do show it at the conferences. I can send it to you if you like. They do show it at
Please.
our conferences. But there's one more, and I have a lot of footage that's not in this. It's just like a 15-minute clip. So there's a lot of footage that's not in there. But the four living founders at the time, Dr. Glasgow, Dr. Better, oh, I'm sorry, the three, and then Garland Jaggers are all in it. And I had so much fun. I was going to be a producer. That's how much fun I had. But I have to
Yeah.
be creative. But now I said I have to be a social worker. I can't get that. But there was really a lot of fun doing it. But we got to tell our stories, and you know what's happening to our stories right now.
Yep.
But so that was a lot of fun. That's why I love being a social worker because you can do so much. Look at you can do a podcast.
So
We can
much.
do so much.
So much.
I love being a social worker.
I'm just sitting here in awe about her influence and such, and I'm kind of salty that I didn't get to experience the same thing, but it's all good. Like
We
Oh,
can
Professor
you're
all
said,
so sweet.
like Professor said, we're here now,
we can go
Yeah,
and
back.
we're
I
here
have
now.
the
Hey,
honor of being in her presence now. So
oh, you're so no, but it's and please don't do that because I am so like not that kind of. I mean, it's nice, but I like to be behind the scenes. This
I
being,
get it.
but I really appreciate this.
Mhm.
But I think so. I just got this award. My husband says it's a Woman of the Year award. I'm like, dude, that is not it. Stop telling stories. The AKA of the Year award, but it wasn't that. It was the Distinguished Graduate Award. And so I'm up against, so in my region, there's 10 states and there's all these women up for this award. I said, I'm not going to get this thing. I mean, it's just because I just do what I do. I love what I love. So when they called my name, they said Diana, not Diane. So I'm still not even thinking. And then people jumping up and down. I said, what's wrong? Why are you jumping up and down? Go get your award. I said, what? But I was in shock because I never thought that what I do is my passion work. So in that, I've gone to Rwanda. We've adopted a school in Rwanda. I have actually a Howard student is working on a Rwanda project. And then what else did I do? I don't know what else, what other stuff, but it's all because I love it, right? So it's hard for me to say that I've done something spectacular because this is just what I love. It's what I do. I have fun with it. I have to be creative. And that's another thing why I think the class turned in the way it did, Anthony's, because I have to be creative. I can't be bored doing stuff. I have to have fun. I have to,
Mhm.
you know, so yeah, so I think for me, I like the attention from behind. I like it when somebody that I have pushed or
Mhm.
like you all, like I'm so proud of you guys. This is amazing. But I don't want the Grammy, but I'll give the Grammy to somebody, but or I'll do the Grammy in secret, but it's
Well, allow us just to give you your flowers.
Yeah,
How about
I
that?
know.
How
appreciate
I
about
that.
that?
appreciate it. I so
because
appreciate it.
because you have if you ever wonder if you've made like left a footprint somewhere, you definitely made one here, and you have inspired us to push forward and try to make an impact in the same way that you made on us.
Yeah.
Three Black men here, we're just trying to have some impact on someone, help somebody along the way. Talking about social work, talking about men stuff, you know, anything that needs to be talked about, we trying to talk about it
And
because we
and
believe
you
that there's a
should.
space for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There needs to be, and again, I think this right here, this is very meaningful for me. An award isn't, but this is. This is like my love language. This and just again, when I got that email, I'm like, really? What? I did? I mean, that's my love language. And just seeing your faces and just hearing your stories and knowing all the things you're going to continue to do. I mean, that's and if I had something to do with that, then I'm so happy and pleased, and that's my gift
I
when I
would
see
like to
that.
share something with you. I shared with the guys on an earlier episode. I had the chance to sit down with my father. I don't know if you remember, but I talked about the relationship that I had with my father and how um, I felt that, he didn't love me or he didn't like me. Well,
Yes.
recently, we had a chance to sit down and have a conversation. And now that I'm older, I can understand the ways that, he was thinking at the time. I've also been able to give him grace because he was a young man at the time, trying to, support his family. So I think that if that class may have not happened, I wouldn't have been able to sit down and actually talk and listen to understand and not listen to just respond or,
Mhm.
come at him a certain way about, well, this didn't happen or we didn't do this. It's not about that. Now I know that my father is proud of me. He loves me and he's been very conscious of my life journey and the things that I've accomplished. So with me hearing that, there was some extra sense of healing for me. So, like I said, it all started with your class.
Well, thank you. And here again another God thing, right?
Yeah.
I have never asked Manny to come back twice, but I knew Manny had to come back. And when I knew you weren't going to be in class, I'm like, oh my gosh. I know, because I know Manny and I know how he would massage this stuff out of you. So I said, okay, man, you got to come back. And he did.
Right.
So that's a blessing. I mean,
That's God.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
it is. So can I ask what you all do now that you have graduated? What are you all doing?
Denzel, you go ahead because you're doing the
God,
most.
golly,
Go
I'm
ahead,
like
Denzel.
everybody waiting to respond. So I'm doing counseling at the county jail here in Montgomery County. I'm also doing therapy at a private practice in Houston. So I'm staying really busy.
Great.
Mhm.
Good. Oh, that's great. I'm excited for you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I'm currently still in Iowa. Yeah. So but no, it's really actually pretty good. I had some job transitions. I've been in my new position probably, like I was telling you earlier, it's a couple months now, but it's a pilot program where I'm the program coordinator of what's called post attempt family engagement model. So I'm helping families, particularly the parents or caregivers who have youth who has attempted. So right around that moment of discharge from leaving the hospital to going home or to wherever they're going to be, we're helping them transition that phase up till about 60, 90 days out. So it's two of us on our team, suicide prevention expert and myself, and we're working really closely to build that program out and just really navigate some things for Iowa and hopefully for the nation with this program, because it's kind of rare that you have something in that spot.
Well, keep me posted. That's fascinating.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my sister died by suicide, my baby sister. Yeah, so I have a whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
Very sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It was a while ago, but I think out of that I decided I was going to make sure that I didn't miss any cues from
Yeah.
anybody that I worked with. So that was
Right.
how I tried to turn that around. Oh, can I tell another story? And then we'll
Absolutely.
Sure.
You are free to do whatever you
Okay,
want.
so here's another story. I don't know if I told you guys this. Well, Denzel didn't hear it, but so the way that I was trained to run groups, I was 27 and I went we had a kind of a workshop, like a weekend workshop, and all these folks came and talked about group therapy, blah blah blah. And then we were watching for about 6 weeks a group in progress. It was an adolescent group, and my two mentors were running that group. And so we would come together, we would talk about the group, like before the group members came in. Then we'd go behind the mirror and watch the two colleagues, or they weren't colleagues, but our mentors run the group. And then we would come back and we would then talk about what we heard, and and they would share, what they were thinking. So it was a pre-group, the group, and then the debriefing. So that's how I learned how to do the group, how to run a group. So I think that training was 3 months. Well, during that training, my sister died by suicide. And so I come into this training and I said, now, you're not going to tell these white people your business.
Mhm.
You're not going to tell these white people your business. So I go and I do the pre-group, and then I do the group, and we're watching. And guess what? Guess what topic came up?
Suicide.
Little black girl.
Wow.
Right before the group was about to be over, she discloses that she had suicidal ideation. So I'm just watching. I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, okay, you cannot say anything. You will not say anything. So then the group is over. They do their thing. They all leave, and then we kind of talk about it. And I used to sit on a couch, and I sat in the girl's chair. Why I do that? I'm sitting in the girl's chair. Why am I sitting in the girl's chair? I'm like, this is crazy. It's like I can't even control myself. So right before we get ready to leave, guess what I did? Told my story.
Tell your story.
It's like I had no control over it. But what that's called is called kind of parallel issues. So it's like a parallel process is what that is when your process parallels something that's going on with your clients. Um, and another way to understand that is when I was running groups for my parents of kids that had sexual behavior problems, and the kids groups were running at the same time. When the therapists got together, we realized the kids and the parents are doing the same, talking about the same thing. It was like, again, divine intervention. So that's kind of a parallel process. So that was one of my profound
Wow.
stories about group therapy. I didn't get the healing out of that, but just the not being able to control myself was
Sure.
just odd. Group is a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my turn.
Yes, it's
Yes.
your turn. Sorry I just hijacked
No,
you.
no,
You
no,
know what
no,
I'm saying.
no.
Go ahead.
No, because ain't that much going on with me. Let's see. All right. So I'm still doing law enforcement work currently. I have been struggling to find some type of placement to earn my hours. I went and took my test. So I am a LMSW now,
Mm-hmm.
but to be supervised by someone effectively and appropriately, I work too much. Like I work a lot in my current job. So I'm trying to find some type of hybrid or something
Mm-hmm.
to be able to earn my hours. At first, I was getting a little upset because I felt like I've been stagnant and can't push forward. But what I have grown to know that I'm a unique person, which has unique situations. So I have given myself some grace and learned to just kind of sit back and let the process play out in front of me. And I'm at peace with what's going on right now. So I can keep up with my CEUs. That's something that's in my control. And just keep trying. Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
try every day. I look for something every day, and soon I'm going to find that. And I'll push a little bit forward. Yeah.
Stephen, where are you again?
I am in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't know anybody in Louisiana, but that's another kind of reason to come to the conferences, because you meet people all over. You just never know
All these networks.
Yes,
who
ma'am.
has
Yes,
who
ma'am.
might have something for you. Oh, here's the other thing you could do too, is if you join the NABSW, if you go on their website, you go to the Career Center, they post, and you just sign up to get posts. They post stuff all the time. You just never know what might pop up that you could it might not be what you want, but it might be a contact you can make, and you just put feelers out that way. So, and it's a
Yes,
free
ma'am.
service. You don't have to be a member of NABSW, but it's the career center. You go on the website, and that
Yes, ma'am.
it'll pop up.
Okay.
Now, Stephen,
Thank you for that.
I know two supervisors in Louisiana who I'm very close with. Now, how does it work in Louisiana though? I know in Texas it doesn't matter. We can get all our hours virtually. In Louisiana, is it set up the same way?
Denzel, I think I'm a little confused on some stuff.
Okay,
To be honest, I don't want to say yes or no.
I got you.
But I have found someone who was willing to supervise me,
Okay,
but she doesn't have like a business or something to supervise me. It's like she's a supervisor, so she would have to work in conjunction with someone else, another LCSW,
I
so
see.
they get together on a plan for me.
I see.
So that's kind of where I am right now. I've met with her several times, and she's been very helpful.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I am. But I will get that information and get back to you, and then maybe we can chat and have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
conversation about it.
These two ladies are supervisors at the VA, man. So we'll wrap and
Okay,
we'll talk about it.
I appreciate it.
Let's lighten it up just a little bit. Let's do our segment about what's sustaining you. So, Professor, the question is what is sustaining you? Not generally, not your whole life, just this week. What's helping you stay grounded this week?
Pilates. And I also have like a healer or an energy worker. So I saw her this morning. So that's what sustained me this week. I go 5 days a week Pilates, and I do Tai Chi.
That's it.
Hey, I
That's
applaud you,
I gotta
Professor.
do that. Hmm?
I applaud you. I tell you what, my wife recently started Pilates, and
Oh,
she talked
really?
about how challenging it was. She came
It
back
is.
sore as I don't know what. So I certainly applaud you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It is wild. It is the
Oh yeah.
hardest thing I love to do. And it's funny, there's a couple of us that go, three of us were friends and we met another young lady. So we decided we were going to do a special class with our husbands. So they came and our teacher taught. It was hilarious. They were like, oh, I think I got a cramp. Oh, I think I got this. It was hilarious, but it is great
Yeah.
exercise. And
Hmm.
if you can squeeze in a Pilates class every now or consistently, I would say do it. It is, I'm with your wife. It is the hardest thing,
Mhm.
That's what she
but
said.
you'll love it.
I was sadly mistaken. I thought, she was going to meet a group of ladies and they were going to do some yoga or something. I didn't know exactly what Pilates was. I thought it was yoga, you know. But when she came back home and told me about what she just experienced, I was like, oh, Lord. So I get it now. I get it.
Yeah, but and another little story. I feel like I'm just telling too many stories, but the guy that developed it, he developed it. He's a Jew, I'm sorry, German, and I think it's Joseph Pilates, and he developed it to support those in the concentration camp to get as much out of them as he can get.
Mm.
That's one story, but
Oh wow.
he only certified two people. One of them was a Black woman. And we don't know her story much, but she is the only, I think maybe she might be the only person that he's certified. And so we don't know much about her, but that's another reason why I really enjoy Pilates because, Black folks be doing a lot of stuff
Hmm.
and we don't know about it.
Right.
But tell her I'm in her corner. I'm
Yes,
doing the
ma'am.
same thing.
Sure will. Sure will.
So
Denzel?
What's sustaining me this week? A few episodes ago, I shared how much I was struggling with self care, struggling with balancing everything that life was throwing at me. So what's sustaining me this week is self care. Really getting into that self care mode. Really being intentional with it. Like as soon as I hop off this, I'm going to hop on my bike and just going to cruise for a little bit. But I have been very intentional with self-care, setting up some boundaries with when I'm off, and just doing better with taking care of me.
Steven.
Yeah. Well, I like to go to my little gym in the backyard right there. So no excuse not to go. But I've added a level of yeah, I added a level of something recently. I've begun to appreciate the painting that God has given us outside. Just simply like looking at nature
Mm,
and learning to sit back and let things play out, just having more patience
mhm,
with everything. Um, just appreciating waking up in the morning, um, being able to see my family, being able to converse with you guys, that has been sustaining me.
Awesome. Awesome. I love all of your stories as to what's sustaining you. I am still uh, dealing with a lot. um, and in the process of me dealing with a lot, I think the belief that even in really difficult situations and difficult seasons, I can still be useful.
mm,
Finding that has been sustaining for me. There's been so much happening, like with my family, with my dad, with work, um, with building out the podcast, and just honestly, I think waking up every day and asking who or what has been entrusted to me today.
mm,
Um, and and as much as that still kind of is in line with the work that we're doing, I've been finding creative, innovative ways to do it, which is fueling right now. I know that I'm going to have to come back, Denzel, and I'm going to have to find different avenues with my self care. I have not been acting as frequently. I have not been in the studio creating music. Those were ways that I knew were self care for me, and I've just kind of put them off to the side right now. Um,
mhm,
but I'm leaning into the work. I'm leaning into my purpose. Because when I focus on taking care of what's been placed in front of me, somehow or another, I've been finding strength, excuse me, for the next thing, and I'm watching myself endure the process of becoming.
good, good,
And I'm doing it from a much more evolved lens now.
good.
It it's challenging and it can be difficult, but I also feel like there's great reward in it. So,
Mm.
final reflection. I'd love to close here. What conversation are you hoping continues after today? What do you hope someone watching this episode keeps talking about long after we're finished? Who'd like to go first?
I'll say something. Just doing your best in life, but whatever that may be, and know that someone's always watching you. Um, because when someone's watching you, you're leaving an impression.
Right.
And just like Professor here has left a lasting impression on us, I hope that I am able to do the same in someone's life. Like the old people say, if we just could could touch one,
Done enough.
well, Professor touched two and
Mhm.
possibly more. So let's continue that domino effect and let's change the world.
And
You
see,
remember that? You remember that old song from church? If you touch somebody,
That's
I don't
it.
remember how I go. That one, that one.
As I travel
don't,
along the way.
Come on,
Yeah.
don't,
come on,
don't,
I
Steve.
know
don't,
you
don't,
can
don't, br-
sing, Stephen.
don't bring us back to church yet.
Oh,
Sing.
oh, he broke that out on the first episode and
Uh-huh.
amazed us. We
Really?
were like, what?
Yeah.
He sings too.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Anthony
see,
is the
now you got a
singer.
singing group.
Except me, Professor. I don't sing. I don't
You got a
sing.
singing podcast. Now, Denzel, you might be able to sing.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I'm gonna pick it back off Stephen and see. I wish I would have gone first because he took exactly what I was gonna say and ran with it. So I was going to say exactly what he said. No, what I hope folks take from this is the lasting impact they can have on others. Just like what Anthony and Stephen have shared, the impact that you've had on them, how you have been able to inspire them. I hope that they can take that with them. It inspires them and encourages them to want to do the same, to want to give back and pour into others.
Professor?
Yeah, that's a very profound question, Anthony. I think I'm trying to get my words. So this was such a beautiful, first of all, being with you guys was just a beautiful, fun experience. Easy. Keep it up. Because we need your voices. I think what this has meant for me is that I think everything that you shared, but you just never know where God's going to show up and do magic, right? When Stephen had to, I think you were dealing with a family issue or something happened and you couldn't make it to group, and then you came that following week. That was magic. And then this whole thing is magical. So I think, like, believe in God, believe in magic, and just, I don't know. I'm just in awe. I think you all have said it. I think sometimes the things we do, we don't recognize how meaningful and profound they are for others. And you all have helped me, or just kind of anchored in that just showing up and being myself has been impactful and meaningful for others. And that's important to me. And so if I'm doing it, y'all are doing it too. Everybody else is doing it, but we might not realize we're doing it.
Looks different.
Yeah. And I do want to connect you all to Manny, because I want him to hear Stephen where you are now, because I do remember that exchange. And I think he probably needs to hear what I heard today. And not, I mean, anyway, this is just a blessing. So thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
When I think about everything we've talked about tonight, I think that the lesson that I hope outlives me is actually pretty simple. Let compassion lead your humanness. Before we're professors, before we're social workers, before we're leaders, before we're hosts, before we're anything else, we're human beings. And I think when compassion leads, everything else changes. It changes how we listen, it changes how we speak, how we disagree, how we care. I honestly believe we've become so accustomed to doing life so in such isolation that we've almost forgotten what it feels like to truly be with one another. So that's why it matters. Not because conversations solve everything, but because they remind us that we don't have to carry life alone.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's one thing I hope people carry away, not just from this episode, but from Symbiosis, it's this: lead with compassion and let that compassion shape the way you choose to be human. Professor, we greatly thank you. We greatly
love you,
appreciate
Professor.
you.
Oh, you are
Appreciate you
so
so much.
sweet.
Not
Thank you
just
so
because
much.
of what you've taught us, but for the way you've taught us. It lets you see just how far those seeds have traveled. And we're just grateful to have you here in
Well,
this
thank you.
opportunity.
And Stephen,
Gentlemen,
I don't know if you realize this, but I was a little worried about you with that person that you were working with. I'm like, just because you do some tough stuff, don't
Yes, ma'am.
devalue what you do. I mean, I can't imagine doing it, but I had to say a couple little prayers for you.
Well, thank you, because they work. I'm still here. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you are. So
Gentlemen, always a pleasure. To everyone watching, thank you for spending this time with us. We will see you next time on Symbiosis. You got to get on up now.